All right, for those of you who are just coming into the room, we were waiting just a few seconds to let everybody in and settle in, but I believe we're about ready to start. So welcome again to day one of the Health Literacy in Action Conference. My name is Rachel Roberts. I'm the coordinator. I'm the manager of Community Health Engagement and Strategy at Institute for Healthcare Advancement. And I'm here with my colleague and friend, Scarlett Forrest, who is the digital content manager and program coordinator also at IHA. Our session today is professional development opportunities in health literacy. But before we begin, I'd like to go over just a few housekeeping items on the agenda. So as you've noticed, all attendees are muted during the session, but there will be a question and answer feature at the bottom of your screen. So we just ask that you post all questions there. And as soon as we're done, we will go over the questions with you and try to answer everything for you. If we can't get to your questions, we'll get your information and send those questions later. If you have any technical difficulties, I think it's been pretty smooth today, but the email is info@HLA or HLActionconference.com for assistance. And we are recording this session, and so you can review it at a later date once it's posted to the Health Literacy in Action Conference website. So I will turn it over to Scarlett, who will cover our objectives and part of the presentation for you.
Thank you, Rach, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. I appreciate you all taking the time to be here today, and I hope you're all enjoying the conference today and also tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and get started with some objectives. So by the end of this session, you will describe a program to enhance health literacy knowledge. You will state at least one way to find health literacy resources and describe at least one way to stay connected with the health literacy community. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So as stated earlier, I am the content manager and I manage this website, the healthliteracysolution.org. We at IHA sponsor and administer this robust and collaborative site that connects all of us in the health literacy community. It is a great place to meet your peers, to get and share resources, to learn, and to get answers to your most pressing health literacy questions. It's also free to use at no cost to you. I assume that most of us here already have an account, but if you don't have an account, it's fairly easy to create. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and add the link to the chat box for you to have access to the site and create an account if you currently don't have one. It's healthliteracysolutions.org. Perfect. And it's just going to ask a couple of brief questions, your name, your email, occupation. And as soon as you submit that form, you'll receive an email and then get verification that your account has been created. All right, so next slide. All right, and what are some benefits of having an account on the Solution Center is that you get to connect with the health literacy community. So when you create an account, you automatically get pushed into the main IHA community. And I'll be going over that first main point right now. So bear with me as I go to the site and show you. All right, you're going to be prompted to log in or join. I'll go ahead and log in with my information. All right, sounds good. So since I used a hyperlink from the website, from the PowerPoint slides, it took me directly to the community. But like, let's say you're on the homepage, you log in and you're on the homepage and you want to get to the main IHA community, you click on the navigation bar up here under Connect and Health Literacy Main Community. Okay. Now, when you're here, it takes you to the homepage of the community, and you could see that the latest discussion posts are here, ways to get involved in this community by posting on the health literacy discussion list, which I'll be going over shortly, sharing a health literacy resource for this community itself. You could also review the most updated community rules and guidelines by clicking on the PDF file here. And if you keep scrolling down, it also shows you upcoming events, and then the latest shared files. So let's go ahead and for now, let's click on the discussion tab here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that entails and how you could connect. So here in the discussion tab, you're going to see different posts, different threads that have been posted. And please note that in this community, there's around 13.6K members. So let's say you have a question, you want to share an insight, you just go ahead and post it, and those members are going to be notified through email, depending on how they have their email set up. If they have it set up that they're going to receive the notification right away, they'll receive it right away. If not, there's also an option that you could set up to receive notifications by the end of the day or by the end of the week. But just keep in mind that this amount of people in the health literacy community are seeing your posts. So if you want to connect with someone, you have a question, you need an answer to a solution, you could work collaboratively with your colleagues here and your peers by posting. So right here, I just clicked on a random post. It was posted 4 hours ago. Let's say that you want to respond to this post privately. You click here next to reply. On the drop-down menu, there's a reply privately option. You could also just reply in general by clicking the reply button, and everyone gets your response as well. Let's say that you want to connect with the individual. Right here on the left-hand side in the upper right corner of the post, you could see who made that post, and also by clicking on their name here, you could click and it sends you to their profile, or you could send them a direct message. So there's different ways to go about this and connecting in this discussion list. It's a great way to get in touch with everyone and to get answers to your most pressing health literacy questions. All right, so with that, I'm going to go back to the slides and see the second point that I have here. All right, so we also have a member directory and an expert directory. And these directories are helpful wherein you could search for other members and also send a direct message. I'll first be going over the member directory. A way to get to the member directory without clicking the hyperlink is by going to connect, and in the drop down, clicking on member directory. Keep in mind that this connect tab here on the navigational tab is very important because it has all the ways that you could connect. So for now, we're reviewing the member directory. For this time, I'm going to go ahead and search up my colleague Rachel. So as long as you have a name, a last name, an email, you search and it will pull up all the members that have that name. So I found Rachel Roberts, and if I click on her profile, you could see here, you could see more information on her expertise, her skills. So it's a great way to find people and connect. And it's also really nice that it just pulls it up for you so nicely. You could also search by company name, by email address. And now let's say you want to do an advanced search. There's also more keywords that you could add in the advanced search for like bio or demographics. So let's say you put public health professional or dietitian, any keyword that could be in a bio. The members that have that will populate and it will give you a list. So that's a great way to connect and find others. And the other one is the expert directory. And that one is fairly new. I'm going to go ahead and click it here under the Connect tab. Here you go. Okay, so the expert directory is a method for Solution Center members to ask for help from other members who have experience or skills in a particular health literacy area. In order for people to be listed here, they would need to fill out an application, and our advisory panel would review that application and approve them on a quarterly basis. So if you're interested in participating as an expert, you could just fill out the form here in this section. And then if you want to know if you qualify for a certain area, you could also click on the hyperlinks of these domains here. These are the areas of expertise that we have, and read more about what what consists of being an expert in an area. So that's how to become an expert. Now, if you're looking for an expert in communication, so here in this section, you would click on the communication and find experts. And it will give you the list of experts that fall under that domain that have expertise in communication. And you could send them a direct message or add as a contact, sorry. Now let's go back to our search options, because I also wanted to show you, like, let's say you wanted to find an expert that has expertise in communication, but also in community engagement. So we'll go ahead and click these two options, and we'll click the button that says find experts. And it's going to populate and automatically give you the experts that have expertise in those two options. I think this is really cool because you don't have to be, listing who has communication, who has community engagement, and, and try to connect them. Like the system automatically does that itself. And it could do like with 3 or 4, and you find them and it'll populate if someone has expertise in those 4 areas. Okay, now going back to the slides, the next way to network here on the Solution Center, and this is a suggestion that we have, that is that you complete your member profile by adding your bio, because it will help give your colleagues, your peers, a better idea of the special skills you have to offer. So let me show you how to go about that. If you go again to the Connect tab, it will show my profile here. You click on it, it will take you to your direct profile if you're logged in. Right now I'm logged into mine. Another way to do it is up here in the right-hand corner. I have next to my picture, on the arrow on the drop down, there's also another way to access your profile. But this is the main page of your profile. You could add your bio, your education, job history, occupation. The more information you add here, the better. So when people search, they could find you, or when people look at your profile, they could connect with you and you stand out more. It's also very important that you add a profile picture, because I think it adds a personal touch. You stand out from the crowd in the discussion list. People at least could see who they're connecting with. And with that, I think it's very important as you're connecting in the health literacy main community. Going to the next point, last but not least, is the job and internship board. And as I stated before, all these you could find under the Connect tab. This is the job and internship board here. So this job and internship board is fairly new. It's a way to connect employers and applicants. Here you could post a job by filling out this brief form. And you could search for current job or internship postings on this left-hand side here. And please note that IHA does not screen employers or jobs. So if you find a post that is questionable, just feel free to contact me. My email is there on the page. But these job postings, we keep them 60 days on this site. And then if you fill out the form, just give us around 3 to 5 days for us to post these jobs. And these job announcements are free of charge to post, and they're exclusive to the Health Literacy Solution members. So if you're not a current member, it will prompt you to log in. You won't be able to see the current postings. So I encourage you to become a member if you're not, so you can have access to this wonderful feature. And one more last thing that I wanted to show you before I move on to my next point is here on the health literacy main community. Let's see, I'm gonna just click on a random post. Where is that? Recommend. So there's a way that you could also recommend this item. or you could pin it to the top of your pin post to the top. So whenever you come back to the discussion list, and let's say you want to follow this post, unfortunately, the search option for this platform is not too user-friendly. We worked our way around it, but a suggestion that I do have, let's say that there's a post that you really want to follow, you could pin the post to the top, and every time you go into your discussion, you could see that post, and then all the threads, all the responses to that post will be there for you to easy access, and you could follow that conversation. So I just wanted to make sure that I point that out too. All right, so just to recap the 4 ways to connect. So I showed you the main IHA community, which is where we all have access once we create an account, and you could connect with the whole health literacy community. We have the directories, the member and expert directory, where you could search for other members. We have that it's very important to complete your profile by adding your bio and also your picture. And last but not least, a job in the internship board, where you could post a job or an internship, or you could find one. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next item that I wanted to show you, which is the Health Literacy Resource Library. This library also has been revamped since last year. Actually, our whole website was redesigned last year, and since then we've been making improvements to the site. So I really appreciate your patience, like as you bear with us as we're making this improvement, making it more user-friendly to serve our health literacy community, so it's easy for us to connect. And one of these is the resource library. A way to access the resource library is on the homepage. You go to the navigation menu, you click on library here. It will take you to a list of libraries we have. To access the main library, it's the first one. And as you can see here, it serves as the site's main collection of useful resources, tools, webinars, and podcasts. And please note that these resources have been curated. We have someone on the back end that's filtering resources that have been submitted in the main community and approving them. And also, if anything's trending, any topics along those lines, someone is actually in here curating these resources. So here you will see featured resources at the top of the page. So these are pretty much our resources that have the most views and downloads. The system automatically just populates this. So if you want to see what people have been viewing, here are our top four resources. Now the area below is the library. This is formatted how the system itself does it. So pretty much we worked around it, and we added folders on the domains that we have: communication, community engagement, ethics, education, language, culture and diversity, organizational systems and policies, public health. And from there, we did subfolders on subtopics that fall under communication. So let's say you're looking for resources under plain language. So from here, you would click on plain language, and you would click on any resource here. Let's say everyday words for public health communication. And please disregard in moderation, because I'm an admin. There's a lot of things that show up that don't show up in your site, but in general, everything should be very similar to how a regular user sees this screen. So here you click on the title, and it will take you to the tool, to the resource. You could click on the hyperlink. You could also expand it to see more, but it gives you a brief description of what that tool is. And I think it's very cool that you could just click on any folder and see what resources have been curated under that topic. Let's see, public health, we have various in here too, digital health literacy. So just feel free to take your time to go in here to explore. We just made this available public facing, so you can access this, anyone can access this. Anyone that's trying to find a resource could just come in here quickly, pull it, download it, and share it. Now, let's say you have a great resource that you would like to share with the community. Here's the button, you submit a resource. And like I said, we'll moderate it on the back end and post it for you. But in order to submit a resource, you do have to be a Solution Center member. It will prompt you. For example, I'll click on it now. And since I'm logged in, it's going to allow me to add it. It's going to allow me to put the title. Under library, you don't select anything, just leave as is. Resources, it will automatically choose the library. The folder, now let's say that, if it's under any of these folders that we have already pre-curated, you could go ahead and select the folder, the description of the resource, and under entry type, you select the type it is. Right here, if you're a member, oh yeah, you have to be a member, you just put your name, and then you click next and it saves, and we receive it and approve it on our end. So this is a very cool way to share and find resources, and it is open to anyone who wishes to access them. All right, so with that, I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat box. We're also going to be taking questions towards the end of the session. You could type in your questions in the Q&A box, but just in case I don't get to them, you have my email. And with that, I turn it over to Rachel.
Thank you, Scarlett. One of the other great features of the Health Literacy Solutions website is a feature called the Learning Lab, where we list other opportunities for you to grow professionally. And I'll just spend some time on one of those opportunities with the Health Literacy Specialist Certificate. I oversee the program, so my email address is on the page. But what this is, it's an assessment-based certificate that really does offer a personalized approach to your professional development, whatever area you decide to pursue. And as Scarlett mentioned some of the titles earlier, she was reviewing the contents in the library. She mentioned communication and education and ethics, and that all ties in together. So unlike other certificates that we take for courses, usually in many courses, when you complete the course, you're automatically emailed a certificate of completion. As an assessment-based certificate, you must complete the course, but also there's another layer of completing and passing an exam, a summative exam, 50 questions. And upon passing the exam, then one earns a certificate of completion. Now, one of the questions I'm asked as overseeing this certificate is, I get the assumption that the community thinks that IHA created this internally with our staff. But I wanted to give you some background because that's not the case. We had a lot of expertise behind us. And this program, although it launched in 2021, it was developed over the course of 5 years. The process to develop this course started in 2016. And we developed it using the Institute for Credentialing Excellence, or ICE, 1100 standards, which adds several layers of rigor to the development of these courses. So we actually had a lot over 50 subject matter experts, or SMEs, who contributed their expertise to developing the course. Because ICE, when you create a course under these standards, they require that we don't do it internally, but that we ask the community of experts to help us produce this. So our SMEs over the last 5 years helped with the content. They helped identify the content. We had a group of SMEs in 2016 who met over the course of 2 days to identify what a health literacy specialist looks like, what knowledge should they have, what skills should they be able to do. And upon completing that initial meeting, they had 7 domains, 7 areas with knowledge and skill statements under each one, which became the blueprint for this course. Once that was completed, we took this information and we surveyed the community. You may have remembered back in 2017, we surveyed over 300 people in our health literacy community to explain that we had met with these SMEs, and these are the 7 domains, and do you agree, and which area should we really focus on, or which one should we add more content. And so that's how our program was initially created. Another group came in and they wrote the content. They identified some of the important content that should be included in each of these courses. They helped write the content. They also peer reviewed. Once we had the content completed for each course, we had another layer of subject matter experts peer review, just as an added layer, just to be sure that our content was correct, because it took a while with COVID and all these different barriers. We had another group of SMEs write our item questions or exam questions. And so we had SMEs for each course do that. And we had another group of subject matter experts look at each exam to establish what is the passing score. So this was 5 years of just this community coming together to create these 7 courses. Next slide, please. So what we created were 7 standalone micro-credentials, is what they're called. That's online courses. They're self-paced courses, given we know your busy work and life schedules. And so once you purchase the course, you are given 6 months to complete it at your own pace. So it's an asynchronous course that's online. The cost depends on the course, because some courses are longer than others. But I also included a link for you to go in and take a look at the different courses and the different costs for each. But let me show you those 7 courses now. Next, thanks. These are the 7 courses that the community identified as the 7 domains. One is, and below each course, you'll see I actually noted how many lessons are in each course. And the lessons, based on beta testing, we beta tested all of these courses before we launched it to the community. Based on beta testing information and responses to our survey, each lesson takes approximately 1 hour to complete, because we have some videos, we have some extra articles to read, we have some knowledge checks throughout, some matching questions, just to make sure we're on track. So each course lists the lessons, and I showed you, as opposed to listing the courses, I'm showing you the logos for each, because it ties into what you receive in terms of when you complete the courses. So we have communication, where one will learn about how to communicate verbally and in writing, plain language writing. Education, which covers teaching patients or teaching individuals or groups. Ethics, we go over health equity, public health, organizational systems and policies, language, culture and diversity, and community engagement. And again, the scope of the courses was dependent upon the health literacy community, who said we need to really focus more on organizational, this was their input, organizational and communication information, as well as ethics. And so that's why the courses are different lengths. Next slide, please. With these courses, one can choose to take 1 course, 3 courses, or complete all 7. So this is where the professional development depends on you, depends on where area you'd like to grow in, or perhaps your place of business is saying, I'd like my employees to take at least this course, or perhaps these 3 courses. And so it really is tailored to meet the individual needs, because as we all know, our health literacy community is so diverse. We have doctors, we have nurses, people working in public health, graphic designers, writers. And so we realized that not everyone would want to or need to complete all 7 courses. But upon completing the course, what you earn, because again, you need to pass the summative exam, which you're given 3 attempts to pass. But when you pass the exam, you're given a digital badge, which is the same logo that I just showed you in the previous slide. And you can share that on your LinkedIn profile or your other social media platforms that you have professionally or personally as well. You're also given a certificate of completion with the logo of which and the title of which course you passed and earned. And also, if applicable, you can earn continuing education credits. Right now, we have CHES, MCHES, public health credits, and California nursing. We hope to add more in the future, other continuing education credits for our courses. But a lot of our participants have stated that even though they don't earn credits in these areas, if they're social services or other areas, on the certificate of completion, it states how many hours of the program that you completed, because again, each lesson correlates more or less to how many hours you spend on that course. And so our participants have said that even though they don't earn these CEs, that they do submit their certificate of completion for extra credit for their certifications as well. For those who choose to complete all 7 courses, you are given not only all 7 certificates and all 7 digital badges, but in addition, you're also given 1 certificate stating that you completed the health literacy specialist program and you've earned that certificate. And that just means that you've completed all 7 and passed all 7 exams. So in addition to your other certificates, you receive a digital badge with this logo, and you also receive a certificate stating that you completed all 7. And we list on the certificate what the other courses were that you completed, so that you can share that with your supervisor or share that on your resume, depending on, again, what path you take with your professional development. Next slide, please. The last slide I have is just a picture of how the course looks to give you kind of the feel for what the course is. I've been asked before if someone can take a look at the course prior to purchasing it, and we can't do that unless it's purchased. But I can show you that there's some. It's a very nice feel to each course, and it was designed using health literacy design and language principles to a certain extent, realizing that we're professionals that are taking the course. But it's designed in a way that it meets health literacy guidelines. And the courses are very colorful. And again, they do include for you additional resources at the end of each lesson. They do include resources embedded throughout each lesson. And they include, again, some videos and knowledge checks along the way. On the Health Literacy Solutions site, and I gave you a link in a previous slide, but on that slide, when you go into the Learning Lab and you find the Health Literacy Certificate, there's more information for you. And you can click on each individual course and click Learn More, and it'll cover with you just a brief overview of what the course includes, but it also talks about what you will learn in each lesson. And so it's a nice way to go in and again, assess what you need to learn more about, what you'd like to learn more about. And so we do offer a lot more detail on the website about each course and what you will learn. We also include frequently asked questions, some general information, and in addition, we have a job description where if you are a manager, you can pull some of the information to include in job descriptions of what you'd like your employees to know. So with that, I will stop. We have about 6 minutes left, and we will open it up to any questions that you may have about the Health Literacy Specialist Certificate or our solutions website. So let's take a look. Oh, and I will also provide for you my email address as well. I know Scarlett did earlier. Scarlett, do you see any questions for us?
I was just looking and I do see one in the question and answer. Stephanie Bennett asked, Rachel mentioned a certification. Is there information on the website about organizations offering certifications?
That's a great question, Bethany, and that's a good point to mention, because one of the emails that I received, one of the questions is, do I receive letters after my name? Is this a certification? And you are correct. This is a certificate. It's not a certification. As far as I know, there are no health literacy specialist certifications to date. Our course is in its infancy and toddler stage since it was just launched, but that could be something down the road that may be pursued. But as far as we know right now, there is no certification for health literacy specialist.
Awesome. I see another question here. Why is there not a summary document for lessons?
There is on the website. So if you go to the Health Literacy Solutions website that Escarla showed you earlier, and you click either on Learning Lab, or go down to the bottom, scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll see a yellow tab saying certificate. You can click on Learn More. You'll see the list of all the courses. And when you click Learn More, it expands. And it shows you again, it'll list the title of the course and a brief overview, but then it goes into more detail about lesson 1. You will learn it. It has a paragraph for each of the lessons for each of the courses.
There's another one here. Do I need to have a specific background? I'm a design strategist, visual designer. Is it okay for me to take this? It's super important in my work.
And that's an excellent question. Again, our community is so diverse. The prerequisites for enrolling in these courses, or any one of these courses, is to have a basic knowledge about health literacy. And on our Health Literacy Solutions website, we do have an area where we have Health Literacy 101, where you can learn about just the basics of health literacy. And once you have that foundation, then you can enroll in any of the courses. So that's the only prerequisite, is just having the basic foundation of knowledge of health literacy.
Awesome. Okay, another one here. Is the 6 months to complete the certificate program 6 months total for all modules, or 6 months from the start of each module?
That's another great question. It's from the start of each module. So we do have some participants who purchase in bulk. There's a discounted price if you purchase all 7 in bulk. And so what we say is you have 6 months to complete each of those 7 courses. So that's for each course.
Right. The next one I have is in regards to the job board that we have on the Health Literacy Solutions Center. They're wondering if IHA also hires. Would those jobs be posted on the job and internship board page here on the Solution Center, or somewhere different? That's a good question. Rach, do you know where we post these IHA jobs?
That is a good question. I would assume, yes, when we have openings at our organization, that we would post it there and share it with the community, definitely. At this time, we don't have any openings, and since we've recently opened this page, we haven't had openings, but I would assume that yes, it would be posted on that page as well and shared with all of you.
Awesome. This is another certificate program question. Are we able to register for a specific lesson or take an entire course?
Each course has lessons within them. So, for example, the communications course has the 9 lessons. And so you can't register just for a specific lesson. You have to register for the entire course. And those lessons are included in that course.
Yes. 2 more. Can an agency purchase your training for their staff as a group?
Yes, and we've had several agencies do that. And so what we do is we get the agency's information and how many they anticipate, and then we work with the agency to give them access, give their employees access to the courses. And so we do that many times.
Awesome. And last but not least, because I know we are running out of time, what is the current cost of the certification?
So again, we don't have a certification, maybe in the far future, but the cost depends on the courses that you select. And so on the Health Literacy Solutions site, when you go onto the certificate page, you can see the cost for each one. However, if you do, again, purchase all 7, there is a bundled price. And we may even have other pricing as well, but you'll find all the information on the Health Literacy Solutions site. And you have my email if you have any other questions. I know we're out of time. I'm rroberts@ihaforhealth.org. And you can also email us, Scarlett, about the Health Literacy Solutions site as well.
Yes, please do. If you have any questions on how to use it, how to access it, anything in regards to the Health Literacy Solutions Center, please feel free to email me. I'm here to help.
Thank you so much. Please email us your other questions. We'll be happy to help.